Hello students, welcome to the new chapter under Unit 3 from Medicinal Chemistry 2nd, that is drugs used in congestive heart failure. This is the path of blood flow through the heart from superior vena cava. The deoxygenated blood from the different organ came into the heart. It is arrive in the right atrium and then it flow towards the right ventriculars. Here it is pumped out the deoxygenated blood. It is pumped out and through the pulmonary artery it is goes towards the lungs where it is purified, or we can say it is oxygenated, and the oxygenated blood from pulmonary vein from the lungs it came into the left atrium and into the left goes into the left ventricles, and it is pumped out from the heart by through the aorta, and the oxygenated blood supplied towards the different organ. So this is the path of blood through the heart. Here you can see the path of blood through the heart. Oxygenated blood here, deoxygenated blood from the body came into ventricles, right ventricles, and it is pumped out, and through the lungs it is purified, and the purified blood came into the left atrium, then the left ventricles, and it is pumped out through the aorta, and it is supplied to the different organs of the body. Now the term cardiotonic agent. Now cardiotonic agents which exert positive inotropic effect. The positive inotropic effect means increase force of contraction, and this increase force of contraction without consuming or without involving more expenditure of energy, means this increase in the force of contraction is called as positive inotropic effect without using much energy. That agents are called as cardiotonic agents. Now these cardiotonic agents used to treat congestive heart failure. In short form it is called as CHF, congestive heart failure. It is the state when the heart is not able to pump sufficient blood to meet the body's requirement. In this, the efficiency of heart muscle get reduced, that is, there is reduced force of contraction due to overloading of the ventricles. In this condition, the blood supplied to the heart is not able to meet the metabolic demand of the heart for oxygen. So CHF occurs when there is more demand of oxygen to the heart than its supply. So this is the congestive heart failure where the heart cannot contract sufficiently to supply the blood because of lack of oxygen, and this result in decrease in the cardiac output. Then it increase the blood volume, then peripheral and pulmonary edema, that is accumulation of the blood into the heart, that is called as pulmonary edema, and which causes increase in the blood volume. So for treatment of CHF there is three mechanism. One is increase myocardial contraction, that is the producing positive inotropic effect. Second, decrease sodium and water retention, means diuresis we can say, and facilitation of the ventricular relaxation. The ventricular is relaxed. So by these three mechanisms the CHF can be treated. First one is increase myocardial contraction, second decrease sodium and water retention, means through the diuresis, and facilitation of ventricular relaxation. CHF, it is occur or etiology causes of CHF. It occur due to the advanced age, old age, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, and the ischemic heart diseases. And due to CHF, it result in left ventricular dysfunction, reduce exercise tolerance, patient cannot exercise up to much, frequent ventricular arrhythmia. So these are the results occur due to the CHF. Now the treatment of CHF, it include positive inotropic agents. It may be a cardiac glycoside. Then second category is beta adrenoreceptor agonist, and third is bipyridine derivatives. Now see the cardiac glycosides. Cardiac glycosides, it is used in the treatment of heart failure. These glycosides are obtained from the plant and animal source, means it is obtained naturally occurring drugs obtained from plant and animal source. It having a narrow therapeutic index, means at lower dose it produces the pharmacological action. These glycosides increase force of contraction without increasing oxygen consumption, means they produces positive inotropic effect, increasing the force of contraction. Then glycoside means having a structure having a two parts, sugar part and the aglycone part. Aglycone, it is also called as genin. Aglycone are two types of aglycone parts present in cardiac glycoside: cardiololides and bufadinolides. Cardiololides and the bufadinolides. Here, cardiololides means they are obtained from the plant source, and it consists or contain 5-membered alpha beta unsaturated lactone ring at the C17 position. We'll see in this structure that how the lactone ring attached to the C17 position. Bufadinolides means they are obtained from the animal source, and they consist 6-membered lactone ring, which is also attached to the C17 position of the glycoside. Now the selected natural glycosides, the source, it is obtained from the leaf of Digitalis lanata. Now this Digitalis lanata leaf, it consists 3 glycosides. One is lanotoside A, lanotoside B, and lanotoside C. Now glycoside means having a two part, one is aglycone and second is the sugar. Aglycone part is called as genin and second part is the sugar. So lanotoside A, it consists aglycone part deoxygenin, and sugar moiety is glucose 3-acetyl deoxytoxose. Second is lanotoside B, it having aglycone part deoxygenin, and glucose is same, sugar is same, glucose 3-acetyl deoxytoxose and deoxytoxose. Let us see the difference. It having a aglycone part deoxygenin, the sugar moiety is glucose 3-acetyl deoxytoxose. Now the other source from which cardiac glycoside is obtained, that is the Digitalis purpura. It having two glycosides, purpura glycoside A and purpura glycoside B. Aglycone part deoxytoxygenin, aglycone part In purpura glycoside B is detoxygenin. Sugar is glucose, digitoxose. Same sugar is present in purpura glycoside B. Then the other source of cardiac glycoside is Strophanthus gratus, that is obtained from the seed. G. Strophanthine, oavagenin, a glycan part. Sugar is rhamnose and Strophanthus gratus seed. The second glycoside. K. Strophantosides, strophantidine, glucose, C. Cymerus. In your syllabus, I think you are having only two cardiac glycosides, that is um, digitoxygenin and digoxin. Digitoxygenin and digoxin. These are the two glycosides it covered under your syllabus. Here the structure of the land side. A, here the land side A, this is the aglycon part. This is the aglycon part, and this part is the sugar portion. This part is sugar portion. Here land side A, in this aglycon part is the, this total is called as digitoxygenin. This is called as digitoxygenin, and this is the lactone ring which is attached to the C17 position. This is lactone ring, 5-membered lactone ring attached to the, and this is the sugar portion. Sugar portion consists glucose, this is glucose, then 3-acetyl digitoxose, this is 3-acetyl digitoxose, next digitoxose, and this is the digitoxose, and aglycon is the digitoxygenin. Lantoside B, it having aglycon part, digitoxygenin, same sugar moiety is present here, that is glucose, 3-acetyl digitoxose. And third is the lantoside C, cardiac glycoside. This is aglycon part, it has the digoxygenin. This part is the digoxygenin, and sugar portion same, glucose, 3-acetyl digitoxose. Now the next part under is the, under cardiac glycoside is the mechanism of action. Cardiac glycosides, it bind or bound to the sodium potassium ATPase in the membrane. They inhibit that sodium potassium ATPase, and due to inhibition it decreases the exchange of sodium with the potassium. It inhibits the exchange of sodium with the potassium, and due to the inhibition of the sodium potassium exchange, new exchange is occur. It result in the increase intracellular sodium. The sodium is retained inside the cell, so it causes increase in the intracellular sodium with consequent increase in the calcium inside the cell. Due to the inhibition of the sodium potassium exchange, there is new exchange is generated, that is sodium exchange with the calcium, and sodium from intracellularly go outside the extracellularly, and calcium from the extracellular comes into the intracellular, and that comes into the intracellular calcium, that increases the myocardial contraction. In this figure you can easily observe. So this is sodium potassium ATPase. What is the role of sodium potassium ATPase? Exchange of sodium with the potassium. Here sodium from intracellular goes outside the cellular membrane, and the potassium from extracellular, it comes into the cell, and this exchange is done by the sodium potassium ATPase pump. Now the our drug cardiac glycoside, for example here digoxin, is bind to this sodium potassium ATPase pump and inhibit the exchange of the sodium with the potassium, and due to the inhibition of this action the new exchange is generated, that is exchange of the sodium with the calcium. Sodium from the inside the cell, it is exchanged with the calcium from the extracellular. Sodium goes outside the cell and calcium comes into the cell, and that the calcium which came into the cell, it causes the increase in the myocardial contraction. The remaining it is stored into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. The increase in the myocardial contraction, it increases the force of contraction of the heart. So this is the mechanism of action. Pharmacology, the response is dose dependent, it having a large volume of distribution, so it will act for longer time. Lower dose therapeutic, the therapeutic index is lower. At low dose it produces pharmacological action. At high dose it is produces toxic effect. The overall effect is increase cardiac output, decrease in the preload, decrease in the heart size, increase the renal flow, and decrease the edema. These are the effect produced by the cardiac glycoside. Now we'll see in next part of the video, that is structure, SCR and other things. Thank you for your listening.